What time is it? You probably glanced at a clock. But what if there were no clocks? No phones, no watches, no sun? Could you still feel the passage of an hour? Deep inside your brain, in a tiny region of the hypothalamus called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, about 20,000 neurons are firing in a rhythm they learned from the dawn of life. This is your master biological clock, a timekeeper that doesn't measure seconds but seasons of the body. It's an inheritance, a faint echo of the planet's rotation encoded directly into your DNA. This internal clock, however, isn't perfect. It runs slightly longer than 24 hours and needs to be reset every single day. It does this using external cues, which scientists call Zeitgebers, German for time givers. The most powerful Zeitgeber isn't your morning alarm or the time you eat lunch, it's light. Specifically, the blue spectrum light that floods the planet every morning. Specialized cells in your retina detect this light, even if you are blind, and send a direct signal to your master clock that says the day has begun. It's a daily calibration that anchors your biology to the spinning of the Earth. So what happens when you take away the Zeitgebers? In 1962, geologist Michel Siffre descended into a cave in the French Alps with no clocks, no sun, and no way of knowing the time. He lived in total isolation, telling his surface team to call him when he thought 2 minutes had passed, an experiment that actually took 5. His sense of time was immediately distorted. Over months, his internal clock began to free-run. His sleep-wake cycle drifted, eventually settling on a rhythm of 24 hours and 30 minutes. Without the sun, his body was marching to its own, slightly slower beat. But the strangest part wasn't just his sleep cycle. The master clock in the brain is like a conductor, but it's not the only musician. Nearly every organ, every tissue, even individual cells in your body have their own peripheral clocks. Your liver has a clock that anticipates when you'll eat to prepare digestive enzymes. Your muscles have clocks that regulate strength and repair. Without the conductor's baton, the daily reset from sunlight, this symphony of trillions of clocks starts to fall out of tune. Each organ begins to drift at its own pace, creating a state of internal chaos called temporal desynchronization. This isn't just a conceptual problem. It has profound physical effects. Your core body temperature, hormone release, and metabolism are all tightly scheduled. For example, your body is primed to process food most efficiently during your biological day. Eating during your biological night, even if it's the same meal, is handled differently. Without clocks, you might eat when your liver clock is preparing for sleep. This mismatch is why shift workers who live in a constant state of desynchronization have higher risks of metabolic disorders. Living without clocks for a week is like giving your entire body a severe case of jet lag without ever leaving the room. Beyond the biology, there's the psychology. How we perceive time's passage is incredibly elastic. This is called chronoception, and it's heavily influenced by your brain's dopamine system. New, exciting, or dangerous experiences cause a dopamine surge, which makes it feel like your internal clock is ticking faster. This is why a terrifying car accident can feel like it happens in slow motion. You're recording more frames per second in your memory. Conversely, a week of sensory deprivation without clocks might make time feel like it's crawling, or it might blur into a single, indistinguishable memory. Ultimately, living without a clock forces a confrontation with a fundamental truth. Clocks don't create time. They are just our attempt to impose order on it. Time itself, at least in the way we experience it, is a property of the universe tied to entropy. The second law of thermodynamics states that disorder in a closed system can only increase. An egg can scramble, but it can't unscramble. This one-way street for entropy is what gives time its arrow. Removing the clocks from your life doesn't stop this arrow. It simply removes the mile markers, leaving you adrift in an endless, flowing river with no banks.
Monotony has grown fast. Nearly 2,700 people have watched in the last few weeks, yet less than 0.03% are subscribed. It would mean a lot if you joined by hitting subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.